This is Durness Beach. How fantastic is this place? I've been here before and I've taken a couple of, I think, fairly decent images, but you just can't drive past the place without revisiting. I mean, you just can't, can you? It's always a challenge coming back to the same places where you've been to before, and I always recommend that you do that, not so that you can take the same picture over and over again, but it'll help with your photography because it'll make you work harder to try and find different compositions. Stood up along the banking, I was looking around trying to figure out where I can take pictures or what I can take pictures of. These stacks to my right hand side, now they are stacks that I haven't taken pictures of, but something caught my eye. That big rock that you can see there, every now and again a large wave hits it and fans up. So I thought, if I put a long lens on, just isolate that rock, get right in, maybe with my 70-200 or maybe with my 1-400mm lens, zoom right in and slow the shutter speed down around about half a second, maybe slightly longer, just to elongate those waves and make it look quite abstracty or quite fine arty. So before I head across to there to shoot the stacks, I'm going to put my long lens on and see what I can do with that rock. Whilst I'm getting set up, there was two problems with this shoot. One of them is staring me in the face and I didn't see it. It was a big problem and it was going to come back and bite me on the backside. I wonder if you could spot which one that is. The first problem was the vlogger's curse. It takes so long to do bits to camera, so long to mess around with camera angles. Unfortunately, the tide receded too far to get those dramatic shots that you've already seen in the B-roll. I did capture a shot, but nowhere near as good as I anticipated. But I wonder if you could guess what the other problem is. I've gone with my 1-400mm lens, although I'm just over 200mm, so really my 70-200mm lens would have sufficed in this instance. I've zoomed all the way out just to isolate that one rock. I've placed it right in the middle of the frame and it's on the bottom third, or certainly on the bottom edge. I'm hoping to get a nice fan up of water, and my settings, I'm at a half a second f/16 at ISO 50. Come on, come on. Nice. Also, I want to get my timing right as well, so I can't afford a 2-second delay. Certainly can't afford to go pressing any buttons, not at half a second, hence the reason I've connected my timer, my trigger release, to my camera as well. But the length of time it's taken me to set up and chat to you, hopefully the tide hasn't gone too far out, in which case I'm going to have to move, get my ass around there and get ready to take some pictures, because we're about 50 minutes away from sunset. Come on, come on, come on. There's something quite therapeutic standing by the sea watching waves crash. Here's a couple of big ones coming now. Here we go. Come on. Yeah. Beautiful light, beautiful sky. The colours are just delicious. Right, well that didn't work particularly well. Obviously the tide was out, maybe a bit too far. By the time I did it around, I mean, when I was getting set up, the water was coming up to my wellies and now it's nowhere near. So that's a real shame. So I'm not going to mess around, let's just crack on. That's really nice. Look at that behind me. A little bridge. With water coming in from the land. That's really quite nice actually. I'm wondering if I can go to the other side of the bridge and use that little bridge as foreground interest leading out to sea. Maybe I could have if the tide was high. Oh wow, what a shame. Right, so if that doesn't work, I'm going to walk across the headland a bit more so I can look down onto these big boulders. I like this. This has a lot of potential. I think it'll look better with the tide in though, so this is definitely one for another day. Right, just assessing the place. I need to make a quick decision. Right, I'm going to walk a little bit further down towards the edge there and I'll have a look at that big rock aiming out to sea. But what I really like is there's a big stone jutting out just about there, which is quite cool. But I need to get across there to photograph it so I capture the right angle of the stone aiming out to sea. I want to be able to see all around the stone, otherwise it'll look as if it's just attached to the headway or the land. I'll walk down to the edge there as well, possibly shoot that, although I don't really want to capture the land that's in there. Yeah, that looks really nice. Question is, can I get over there? There looks to be a path on top of those rocks. It just depends on how precarious it is to get up on those rocks up there. Right, quick decisions. Right, well this is it. This is me precariously placed. Hang on. This is me precariously placing myself on a cliff edge. I'm fairly safe, it's okay. I've watched the wave for a good 20 minutes and obviously nothing's coming up here and the tide's on its way out, so not to worry. Right, I'm going to do something I feel quite uncomfortable with. I'm going to photograph this rock, the main rock, but I'm going to place it right smack bang in the center of the frame. I'm going to use the headland on the right hand side of the frame and some rocks below me on the left hand side. So basically there's going to be 1, 2, 3 in the frame. And I'm going to opt for a slow shutter speed. I'm going to drop a 6-stop filter in there and shoot this at 2 minutes as well. Sadly there's no light, but now I'm here, I'm going to hang on until blue hour kicks in. I'll at least grab some blue hour shots. At the moment I'm using my 0.9 soft grad and nothing else. That's giving me 2.5 seconds at ISO 50. 2.5 seconds is good enough to just blur some of these waves that are crashing and smashing on this centre rock. I'll do a few of those, like I say, then I'll drop my 6-stop filter in there, calculate to 2 minutes, and I'll flatten that water out altogether. There's a big wave coming. This is looking good. This is looking very, very good. What I like, every now and again, the wave goes over the rock and drops down, and it creates what's called, what I call a bright veil. Over a long exposure, well, 2.5 seconds is long enough, just to streak that water down. It looks like, like that there. It looks like a bright veil. The white waves against the black rock look tremendous. 2.5 seconds might even be too long. So my settings at the moment are ISO 50, f11, 2.5 seconds. Before I add a 3 or a 6 stop filter onto the front of my lens, that's a good one. I'm just going to double that shutter speed to see what it looks like at 5 seconds. To do that, easy enough, I'm at f11, so I'm just going to close the aperture by 1 stop. 1, 2, 3 takes it to f16, and now, because there's 1 stop of light less hitting my sensor, I have to overcome that by slowing the shutter speed down by 1 stop, therefore doubling the shutter speed. 1, 2, 3. Without stating the obvious, f16 at 5 seconds. Just take a couple of shots like this. Right, that is it. This is my last shot. It's a 4-minute exposure just to see if I can create any movement in those clouds. I'll show you my pictures now, and I'll draw a close to this video. Thank you very much indeed, as always, for supporting the channel and for watching me. If you're new here, if you're not already a subscriber, do me a favor, subscribe and help support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up. Till the next time, guys, cheers.